could you describe yourself in 3 words?
I'm incurably optimistic, I'm a risk taker, and I have a sense of humor.
你从何时开始学习中文的？
有朋友认为我上辈子我是中国人，所以那个是缘分。但是实际情況是我24歲才開始學中文。
有冇諗過武術係一間香港嘅私立國際學校嘅必修科？佢哋係點樣將中國文化深入透徹咁貫穿喺教學入面？對弘立書院 ISF 總校長 Dr. Malcolm Pritchard 嚟講，中國文化係 ISF 嘅基因，無論喺辦學理念、課程設計、語言學習方面，都貫徹八德一智嘅傳統智慧。我好榮幸邀請到 Dr. Pritchard 同我分享佢熱愛中國文化嘅淵源，以至到將呢個元素帶到去 ISF。除此之外 ，Dr. Pritchard 亦可以話係帶動體驗式學習嘅先驅。我會問問佢早年喺南京同埋澳洲嘅辦學經歷，點樣啟發到佢體驗式教育嘅重要同埋得着。後來又點樣喺弘立實踐呢套教學模式，提升學生嘅學習經驗。我哋一齊嚟聽下校長嘅分享啦。
Welcome to our interview series.
Thank you, Jennifer.
So I know a lot of principals dedicate their life and decades of their life to education, and you as well. But in addition to that, you come from a very unconventional background. Can you share with us a little bit more about your past experiences and how that have shaped your education philosophy?
When I left school very early, I ended up learning a lot experientially through my late teens and my 20s, and eventually fell in love with learning myself as an adult, where I embarked on a series of degree studies, starting with a bachelor's degree and finishing with a PhD. 我真的可以说我达到那个终身学习者。
So what brought you to China?
原来我是澳大利亚政府联邦政府的一个公务员。我23、24岁的时候有个机会在墨尔本，有那个做翻译的，就是分析中国当时的那个情况到底如何。我举手，他们说好，可以。我发现我最喜欢的是学习中国的文化、中国语言。后来呢，墨尔本有一所私立学校正在找一个中文老师，我没有那个资格，那我申请，他们说好。我们尝试吧，你看看，给外国的那个小朋友教汉语，但是后来我的班也包括很多来自台湾、中国、东南亚的学生。94、95年，当时是澳大利亚规模最大的私立学校。They were just in negotiations with 南京师范大学附属中学 ，and I was appointed as the principal of that school.
So how did you make that experiential learning experience memorable for the children?
We learn in different ways, and we can divide learning into what I would call semantic learning, which is where we acquire facts, and experiential learning, 就是经过体验学习获得的那个经验知识，完全是依赖于自己的那个五官，有那个回忆，也可以自己体会到我当时我在哪里，我做什么，我看到什么，我听到什么。我闻到什么，所以我就按照体验学习的一些原则，就让来自澳大利亚14、15岁的小朋友深入中国文化、中国那个语言的环境，待5个星期，就是更深刻的了解。So many monuments, so much history in Nanjing. If you go back to, particularly if you're interested in Mingqiao. What we needed to do was try and get out of the box of the classroom. No tour guide, no meals organized, no activities at all. Students organized everything.
So how do you instill that strong level of Chinese, which ISF is very well known for? But at the same time, maintain your 41 average IB score, which predominantly is taken in English, very high level English actually. So how do you transition their learning?
I think it's a matter of co-constructing your understanding of the world through two different languages, but also two different cultural perspectives. 我觉得我们这里的那个最重要的执行课程的方法是什么？ And that is learning through language. We do mathematics through English and 普通话。同样有探索课 guided discovery, which is done in both English and Chinese, which is science and humanities, 科学和人文学。 We use a complementary approach. The teachers, no other school has this curriculum. And it relies on the teachers having this ability to exchange, to cooperate, to coordinate, to harmonize. So you may do polygons in English maths in grade 2 for this unit, and then maybe for a later unit in Chinese mathematics, you do the same material, but through the medium of Chinese.
So it's kind of like spiral learning.
Spiral learning where...
Consolidating, but different language.
And as the students move through primary school particularly, they are acquiring an understanding of the world through both a lens of English language and Chinese language.
That's quite unique to ISF because you actually explicitly teach ethics and Chinese values. Can you share with us more about how
we have the 8 virtues which come from the 春秋时代. And if you look at Chinese literature all the way through Sun Zhongshan, and he was talking about 八德. And in fact, there are Chinese communities to this day that still value the notion of these 8 virtues. And so that provides us with an ideal set of, if you like, the cardinal points on our moral compass.
But how do you actually integrate it into the students' daily learning, disciplinary actions?
Yeah, they have to be surrounded by the symbols. So classes in primary school are named after the virtues. We have 校班, 合班, 人班, 智班. So they're surrounded. They have that sense of connection and belonging to their virtue. 如果他们行为没有达到我们的要求，我们用什么？不是第137条。We say, well, which one of the 8 virtues have you not fulfilled? And increasingly, students, they use that language with themselves, with us. We use it. 我是弘立的总校长，八德一智也是针对我自己。我天天我到办公室，我上班，我跟任何人有接触有交流，我方方面面时时刻刻要满足那个理想。别人看到我就知道，好，那个是可靠的。先行其言，而后从之。
你会用哪3个词语来形容弘立学生？
很认真，努力学习，双语双文化，非常礼貌。
What will you do on holidays?
What's a holiday? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. I know. When I'm not in the office here or not in the office at home, I love to hike.
So I know even on your ISF website, there is a specific tab on experiential learning, how it is applied in ISF.
So experiential learning, it's important that we realize that education is not an end in itself. 你受到教育到底你的目标是什么？其实加入社会之后，你离开学校，你毕业，你要做什么？ What all of my employers have asked me to do after I left school was solve a problem. So what do I need for that? 我要首先要研究那个问题，来源是什么？它方方面面我要了解，它的条件，还有我需要什么资源，需要什么知识，然后我分析那个问题之后，好，我可能也要尝试这个方法、那个方法。我觉得教育最简单的那个原则是什么？先做人，后做事。We're teaching them how to behave， 跟其他的同学如何交流，跟老师如何交流，跟家长、跟社会的那个成人、社会其他人、陌生人怎么交流。How I experience and express myself through my values, through my worldview.
这 So can you share with us a little bit more about your 书院 program?
其实书院原来的那个概念是有点像一个教育的实验室。We felt that these were things that we could make part of, complementary to and supportive of mainstream curriculum. But we found we had students who were very bright, who wanted to explore the world beyond the curriculum, where we taught students how to observe. And trying to strike that balance where students could think and learn. And then we started to connect that to things like scientific research, research into the humanities. So we have a molecular biology lab. And the molecular biology lab is fully equipped university level laboratory. And students can elect to join the program and conduct research on their own, usually on their own bacteria. And then if they find something interesting, they publish. And so this is all helping them to understand the world's a big place and the curriculum in school is limited in time.
So is this all provided under the school curriculum schedule, or do they sign up extra?
Some things, we started out with those things being done separately, and increasingly we have integrated them into the mainstream curriculum.
So I saw on your website that you offer 220 co-curricular activities, and some of them are quite unique. Can you share more about those with us?
So we do use the term co-curriculum rather than extracurricular. 是跟我们主流课程是配合的。For example, 武术 martial arts. That is a subject that students must study in primary school. 这个可能在香港是独一无二的。And this is a good example of what we do with some of the other programs. The students learn certain wushu routines, and whilst they're doing those routines, they recite poetry or classics. So when they do the action in the wushu routine, their brain is saying, here is the line from the poem that I need to recite. And the kids have so much fun doing it. In fact, wushu is one of those programs that some students like to stay involved in. In December last year, the 8th Junior World Championship for Wushu was held in Jakarta. The Australian team of 12 members consisted of 7 current ISF students. So that is a great example of something that extends from within the core curriculum into the co-curriculum and into activities and sports outside of school. It's interesting that in the current season of co-curricular activities, we have over 4,000 registrations from over 2,000 students. So it means on average, they do at least 2 activities per week. It may be fencing, which has become quite popular in Hong Kong. It may be chess. The co-curricular programs provide that way of students developing character as well as skill. Perhaps overcoming the disappointment of defeat, but also commitment. Because when students get to those final examinations and the world beyond, they're going to need that. Resilience, commitment, courage. Those are things that I think are more easily and effectively developed through a rich co-curricular program.
How do you select students?
I think we need to understand that the education of a child is not something that is done in isolation. We have to have a curriculum, we have to have a teacher, we have to have a school, we have to have values, we have mission statements, but without a really, really important element, that will fail. Parents, the first teacher. Second teacher, here. Third teacher, the environment. Fourth teacher, their experience. All of those have to come together. We need full engagement, belief, commitment from mum, from dad. They need to believe in what we're doing. You know, sometimes we'll have parents who will say, bilingualism, 他们听到双语，我觉得我的小孩子应该适合这样。But when you get to that point of saying, okay, we're now going to do maths in Chinese, science in Chinese, We're teaching them how to read Shakespeare. We're teaching them how to read 唐诗. We're teaching them how to explore the mysteries of science in both English and Chinese. We're looking for parents who want that, who are committed to that. And if we can arrive at that commitment to each other, then I think we've got a basis to cooperate. There is no school that's perfect. There's no child that's perfect. Getting that match, that fit, your child, your family, your values, your worldview, is that a fit for ISF? 所以我们的使命就是让我们的学生能够做他应该做的事。
Thank you so much for all the inspiring insights and sharing. Just want to say a huge thank you for sparing your time for addressing our interview. Thank you. 我今日嚟到 ISF 真係大開眼界，一間由雙語外籍校長領導嘅香港私立學校，可以將中華文化徹底咁樣灌輸喺校園課程裏邊。相信係香港真係唯一一間。我見到學校裏邊嘅學生雙語能力都非常之高。我好感興趣嘅係學校多元化嘅體驗式學習，可以訓練學生培養佢哋觀察、探究、反思嘅能力。呢啲軟技能係未來人才非常重要嘅素質。校長亦都重點提出，除咗老師、課程、校園環境之外，家長係小朋友學習路上面最重要嘅角色。呢一點我亦都係非常之認同嘅。